We're halfway done, or just about halfway done. So we're going to go ahead and do molar mass practice number 2 worksheet. Question number 5. Okay, when we look at this, I'm going to say right here, the biggest mistake on this one right here is everybody looks at it and say, oh, it's a polyatomic ion. I'm going to go to the polyatomic ion sheet and I'm going to name it that way. It's not a polyatomic ion. It's not. Do you see a charge? No charge. So with no charge, you can't call it an ion. So what type is it? Well, we look at the first element. The first element is sulfur. So that means it is type 3. It is type 3. So how do we name it type 3? Well, we name it type 3 by using the prefixes. We use the prefixes and we just say whatever the prefix is, that's what it is for that particular one. And we change N into the second element to I. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to change this right here and make that a subscript like it should be. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead, and the first one is sulfur. So how do we figure that? We know that we're going to look at the periodic table. We have sulfur and we have oxygen. Okay, now it's not just sulfur oxide. Okay, because it is a type 2 and they're sharing electrons. We use a prefix to determine what the subscript is. The only thing that we do not do is use the prefix 1 for the first one. So this is not mono sulfur. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and say that it is sulfur because that's what it is. And then we do the prefix for oxygen of whatever the subscript is. Now, how do we figure that out? Now, I'm going to say that we can go to our rules page, and it should be written right in the rules page. Okay, so we're going to scroll down till we get to type 3. Okay, here's type 3. Okay, normally we go mono if we were for 1. 2 is di. So let's go back to this one right here. So we're going to put in on this one right here, we're going to put in it as dioxide. So that's where we get there. So we're going to call this one sulfur dioxide. Okay. Now what we got to do for molar mass is we have to make sure that we have all the elements. So we have sulfur. How many sulfurs do we have? We look at here, no subscripts. So we only have 1 sulfur. So we're going to put a 1 there. And then we're going to do oxygen. So let's go do oxygen. There's oxygen. How many oxygens do we have? We have 2 oxygens. And the reason I put our multiplication sign here is because we're going to multiply by the atomic weight. Well, how do you figure out the atomic weight? If you memorize the atomic weight, or if you do this enough, you will memorize the atomic weight. And I can tell you right now, I know the atomic weight of both of them, but we're going to double check. Why? Because it's good to double check. My memory isn't what it used to be. So we're going to go all the way back to our packet, go back up to our periodic table. Oop, a little too far. And there's our periodic table. We'll scroll down to it. We see that the larger number is in the box is the atomic weight, and that is 16 for oxygen and 32 for sulfur. Hey, I was right. You'll never know if I was or not. So we're going to go 32 right here, and we're going to do 16 right there. So we're going to do the multiplication that we need, and that's going to equal 32 times 1 is 32. 16 times 2 is 32. So now all we need to do is go ahead and write out our molar mass and what that equals. So I'm going to just tap these over a little bit just for my view. So I'm going to total up 32 plus 32. I know the answer to that is 64, but if you need to get that calculator out, it never hurts to double check everything. And again, we have to show all of our work anyway, so we might as well do it right and make sure that it counts. So we're going to take 32 plus 32 equals 64, so we're right. Now we just put it in grams, and that's 64 grams of what? It's sulfur dioxide. I can either copy the name down or copy the formula down. So we're just going to copy that down, put it in there, paste it, boom, wham, highlight it. We are done. There you go. There's the molar mass for sulfur dioxide, which is 64 grams. That's it. We did the molar mass for practice number 2, problem number 5. And as always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.